Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Viggo Mortensen is an American actor, filmmaker, musician, poet, and painter, widely celebrated for his remarkable range, artistic sensitivity, and deep commitment to his craft. Born on October 20, 1958, in New York City to a Danish father and an American mother, Mortensen's early life was marked by movement and cultural diversity. He spent much of his childhood in Argentina, Venezuela, and Denmark, becoming fluent in Spanish and Danish, a linguistic and cultural flexibility that would later inform his acting and worldview. Mortensen's path to stardom was gradual and unconventional. After studying at St. Lawrence University, where he earned a degree in Spanish studies and politics, he moved to Europe before returning to the United States to pursue acting. His first major film appearance came in Witness, 1985, opposite Harrison Ford, where he played a small but memorable role as an Amish farmer. Throughout the late 1980s and 1990s, Mortensen worked steadily in Hollywood, appearing in films such as The Indian Runner, 1991, Carlito's Way, 1993, Crimson Tide, 1995, and G.I. Jane, 1997. His true breakthrough came in the early 2000s when he was cast as Aragorn in Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings trilogy, 2001 to 2003. The role transformed him into a global star and a symbol of heroism and integrity. Mortensen's performance was noted for its authenticity, emotional depth, and physical commitment. He performed many of his own stunts and even used a real sword during filming. His portrayal of Aragorn remains one of the most beloved in modern cinema, earning him a devoted international following. Following The Lord of the Rings, Mortensen deliberately avoided typecasting, choosing projects that reflected his eclectic artistic interests. He worked frequently with director David Cronenberg, forming one of modern cinema's most fascinating actor-director partnerships. Together, they made A History of Violence, 2005, Eastern Promises, 2007, and A Dangerous Method, 2011. His performance as a conflicted Russian mob enforcer in Eastern Promises earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. Mortensen's other acclaimed roles include The Post-Apocalyptic Father in The Road, 2009, based on Cormac McCarthy's novel, and the free-spirited, eccentric patriarch in Captain Fantastic, 2016, for which he received his second Oscar nomination. In 2018, he earned his third nomination for Green Book, where he played Tony Lip, an Italian-American chauffeur touring the segregated South with pianist Don Shirley, Mahershala Ali. Beyond acting, Viggo Mortensen is a deeply engaged artist. He is a published poet and photographer, with several collections of his artwork and poetry released through his own publishing house, Percival Press. He is also a musician, having composed music for some of his films and collaborated with other artists in experimental and world music projects. Mortensen's artistic philosophy is grounded in authenticity, integrity, and independence. He often avoids Hollywood glamour, preferring a quiet life split between his homes in Spain, Argentina, and Denmark. He is known for his multilingualism, intellectual curiosity, and humility, often speaking about the importance of cultural empathy and political awareness. In recent years, Mortensen has expanded his career into writing and directing. His directorial debut, Falling, 2020, explored themes of family, memory, and generational conflict, with Mortensen also starring alongside Lance Henriksen. The film was praised for its emotional honesty and understated storytelling, signaling Mortensen's emergence as a filmmaker of quiet power and depth. A man of many talents, Viggo Mortensen stands as one of the most versatile and thoughtful figures in contemporary cinema. His career, shaped by a blend of artistry, intellect, and moral conviction, continues to inspire admiration from audiences and peers alike, a testament to his enduring belief that art, in all its forms, is a means of searching for truth. Viggo Mortensen's life and career reflect an artist who has never been content to exist within one identity or medium. He has continually challenged both himself and his audience to think more deeply about art, storytelling, and the human experience. After his rise to international fame through The Lord of the Rings, Mortensen could easily have become a conventional movie star. Instead, he chose the path of a restless creative spirit, one who valued authenticity, integrity, and meaning over commercial success. His post-Rings filmography is defined by this very independence. In A History of Violence, 2005, Mortensen's performance as Tom Stahl, a seemingly ordinary family man with a violent past, revealed his capacity for psychological complexity. The film, a dark exploration of identity and repression, earned widespread critical acclaim and marked the beginning of his fruitful collaboration with director David Cronenberg. Their next project, Eastern Promises, 2007, pushed Mortensen even further. He immersed himself so deeply into the role of Nikolai, a stoic yet moral driver for the Russian mafia, that he learned Russian mannerisms and tattoo symbolism, making his character startlingly real. His chilling yet sympathetic portrayal earned him his first Academy Award nomination. Mortensen reunited with Cronenberg again in A Dangerous Method, 2011, where he portrayed Sigmund Freud opposite Michael Fassbender's Carl Jung and Keira Knightley's Sabina Spielrein. The role demanded intellectual precision and subtle charisma, qualities that Mortensen embodied with ease, earning praise for bringing Freud's sharp wit and philosophical depth to life. Beyond his work with Cronenberg, Mortensen has built a reputation for selecting projects that carry emotional or philosophical weight. His performance in The Road, 2009, remains one of his most haunting, a tender, desperate portrayal of a father navigating a post-apocalyptic wasteland with his son. Mortensen's emotional restraint and deep empathy in that role resonated with audiences and critics alike. In Captain Fantastic, 2016, Mortensen delivered one of his most personal and resonant performances. Playing Ben Cash, a father raising his 6 children in the wilderness, Mortensen explored themes of idealism, family, and the clash between modern society and alternative living. The role required both physical intensity and emotional vulnerability, earning him another Oscar nomination and solidifying his status as one of cinema's most introspective leading men. Then came Green Book, 2018, a film that brought Mortensen into the mainstream once more. As Tony Lip, he displayed a surprising gift for humor and warmth while maintaining his usual depth of character. The film won the Academy Award for Best Picture, and Mortensen's performance was a major factor in its success. Mortensen's artistry extends well beyond acting. Through Percival Press, founded in 2002, he has published his own poetry, photography, and paintings, as well as works by lesser-known artists and writers. His poetry often explores themes of memory, travel, language, and identity, mirroring the multilingual, multicultural life he has led. His visual art, meanwhile, blends abstraction with emotion, reflecting his introspective and spiritual nature. An accomplished photographer, Mortensen has exhibited his work internationally, often capturing landscapes and quiet moments that express solitude and transience. He once remarked that photography, like acting, is about observation and patience, being present enough to notice what others overlook. Musically, Mortensen has released several albums that combine spoken word, ambient sounds, and collaborations with other musicians, particularly guitarist Buckethead. His approach to music is experimental and deeply personal, another avenue through which he explores inner landscapes rather than external fame. Personally, Mortensen is known for his modesty, intelligence, and political consciousness. He has spoken openly about his progressive views, his concerns about environmental destruction, and the need for empathy in a divided world. A polyglot who speaks fluent English, Spanish, Danish, and conversational French and Italian, he often switches languages in interviews depending on the country he's in. Mortensen's connection to his heritage runs deep. He holds dual U.S.-Danish citizenship and frequently travels between North America and Europe. He has also maintained strong ties to Argentina, where he spent formative years as a child. He remains an avid supporter of San Lorenzo, an Argentine football club, and frequently references the country's culture and politics in his conversations. In 2020, Viggo Mortensen added yet another dimension to his artistic career with his debut as a writer-director in Falling, a deeply personal drama inspired in part by his own family experiences. The film explored the strained relationship between a son and his conservative, ailing father, portrayed by Lance Henriksen. Critics praised Mortensen's direction for its restraint, honesty, and emotional intelligence, qualities that mirror his work as an actor. More recently, Mortensen continues to balance selective acting roles with writing, painting, and composing. He remains one of the few contemporary artists whose creative life feels indivisible from his personal philosophy. His career, rich in integrity and curiosity, stands as proof that true artistry transcends fame and genre. Viggo Mortensen's personal philosophy and lifestyle have long reflected the qualities that define his art: independence, sincerity, and an unwavering respect for truth in all its forms. He has often described himself not as a movie star, but as a working artist, someone for whom acting, writing, painting, and music are simply different languages of expression. Despite his fame, Mortensen has managed to live a largely private life, shunning the celebrity spotlight. He has said that fame can distort one's sense of reality, and he prefers solitude, quiet reflection, and time spent in nature. He once remarked, "If you can stay connected to what's real, people, nature, memory, then you'll never lose yourself, no matter how big your career gets." Personal life and relationships. Mortensen was married to punk singer Exene Cervenka, co-founder of the Los Angeles band X, from 1987 to 1997. The two met on the set of the comedy Salvation, and had a son, Henry Blake Mortensen, born in 1988. Henry has occasionally appeared at events with his father, and the two share a close bond. Mortensen has credited fatherhood with grounding him emotionally and influencing his view of the world. After his divorce, Mortensen has largely kept his romantic life private. Since the 2000s, he has been in a long-term relationship with Spanish actress Ariadna Gil, whom he met while filming Alatriste 2006, an epic Spanish historical drama in which Mortensen starred as a 17th-century soldier. The couple splits their time between Spain, Denmark, and Argentina, living quietly and away from Hollywood's public eye. Cultural and intellectual identity. Mortensen's upbringing in South America, combined with his Scandinavian heritage, gave him a global perspective early in life. He often describes himself as a citizen of several worlds, feeling equally at home in Buenos Aires cafes, Danish countryside villages, or the streets of Madrid. His multilingual fluency in English, Spanish, Danish, and conversational French and Italian allows him to navigate international cinema with ease. He has often expressed concern over cultural homogenization and the erosion of local traditions, urging artists and audiences alike to value linguistic and cultural diversity. In interviews, he frequently switches languages mid-sentence, reflecting how naturally he thinks across cultures. Artistic vision and philosophy. Viggo Mortensen's approach to art is holistic and intuitive. He does not see boundaries between different art forms. Acting, painting, poetry, and music are for him interconnected ways of exploring the same questions. Who are we? How do we live honestly? What does it mean to be human? He has said that his performances are grounded in observation and empathy. Rather than playing a role, he seeks to inhabit the inner life of a character, often researching historical context, dialects, and even physical habits for authenticity. For Alatriste, for example, he learned to speak 17th-century Spanish and trained in period fencing. For The Road, he lived on location in the cold, wore his costume continuously, and lost weight to embody the physical toll of survival. As a visual artist, Mortensen's paintings are abstract and emotionally charged, using color and texture to evoke memory, mood, and movement. His photographic work, meanwhile, often captures fleeting details, a shadow on a wall, a reflection in water, revealing his fascination with impermanence and perception. Percival Press. Mortensen founded Percival Press in 2002 as an independent publishing house dedicated to giving voice to artists and writers who might otherwise be overlooked by mainstream publishing. Through it, he has published art books, poetry, essays, and photography collections, including several of his own works such as Sign Language, Coincidence of Memory, and Recent Forgeries. The name Percival references the Arthurian knight known for his purity and quest for truth, symbolizing Mortensen's belief that art should be both personal and noble, an act of seeking clarity in a chaotic world. Humanitarian and political engagement. While not overtly political in his films, Mortensen is outspoken about social and environmental causes. He has supported efforts to preserve indigenous languages, promote environmental sustainability, and oppose cultural censorship. His politics lean toward humanism and inclusivity. He is known for donating to various progressive organizations and for using his public platform to advocate for compassion and understanding across divides. During interviews, he has expressed dismay at global political polarization and the loss of dialogue. "We can't move forward," he once said, "if we only speak to those who already agree with us." Listening, really listening, is the first act of art. Legacy and influence. Viggo Mortensen's influence extends beyond cinema. Among fellow actors, he is admired for his integrity and work ethic. Among critics, for his emotional precision and versatility, and among fans, for his humility and authenticity. His legacy is not one of spectacle but of depth, a reminder that art can still be contemplative in an age of noise. He stands as a model of the artist as a whole human being, one who creates from lived experience rather than ego. Whether on a film set, behind a camera, or at a writing desk, Mortensen continues to embody a rare blend of intellectual rigor and emotional honesty. As of the mid-2020s, Mortensen remains active in multiple fields. His second directorial feature, The Dead Don't Hurt, 2023, which he also wrote, scored, and starred in alongside Vicky Krieps, was praised as a meditative and feminist reimagining of the Western genre. It further established him as a filmmaker capable of balancing poetic subtlety with thematic force. Even as he continues to evolve, Viggo Mortensen has already secured his place as one of the most multidimensional and thoughtful artists of his generation, a man who has proven that integrity, curiosity, and empathy are the true measures of greatness. Viggo Mortensen's creative life beyond acting reveals the depth of a man who experiences the world as a living canvas, one where language, sound, color, and silence all hold equal power. To understand Mortensen fully, one must see him not merely as an actor but as a poet-philosopher, an artist whose work flows from an internal need to observe, feel, and translate experience into form. Poetry and literature. Mortensen began writing poetry in the late 1980s, long before he was famous. His early works were introspective, minimalist, and influenced by his bilingual upbringing. He often writes in both English and Spanish, sometimes blending the two within a single poem, creating an emotional rhythm that mirrors his shifting cultural identity. His poetry collections, such as 10 Last Night, 1993, Recent Forgeries, 1998, Coincidence of Memory, 2002, and Canciones de Invierno, Winter Songs, 2004, reveal a voice that is deeply personal and observant. His verse tends toward brevity and meditation, focusing on fleeting impressions. The way light falls on a wall, a lover's absence, or the passage of time. Mortensen's poetic sensibility draws on influences like Pablo Neruda, Jorge Luis Borges, Rainer Maria Rilke, and the Beat poets. Yet his work avoids grandiosity. Instead, it conveys the quiet revelation of ordinary moments. He once said, "The smallest thing can hold the whole world if you look long enough." His book Coincidence of Memory is particularly revealing, a mix of poetry, photographs, and paintings that explore identity and time. It reflects his belief that art is not something separate from life but rather a record of how one sees life. Photography and painting. Viggo Mortensen's visual art has been exhibited.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.